struggle. That's why Goodell said that. True. If you're not in the struggle, if this is not something you have experienced, your response is going to be different. In the words of Big L and Mocha Bella, facts. That's facts. If you don't experience something, your outlook is going to be different. If I've never been homeless before, I'm going to look at a homeless person possibly different than someone who has. That's just plain and simple. And I think maybe these guys need to somehow experience that. Maybe you need to go to these communities where these things are happening. Maybe you need to go and talk to a mother whose son was gunned down by the police for no reason. So we're going to be talking Major League Baseball playoffs here in just a minute. We should have our guest, Jonathan J. Bates, calling in here in just a second. But yeah, these comments need to be filtered. You need to filter what you're getting ready to say. You need to filter. You need to think about what you're saying before you say it. That's the kind of stuff you tell a 5-year-old. What's going on? We got Jonathan J. Bates on the show. How you doing?
What's up? I'm doing good. Just thankful to be on your show again.
Yeah, definitely, man. I love having you on. Your knowledge and expertise, and congratulations to you, bro. You continuing to grow. You're now a writer for The Inquisitr, a sports writer for them. Also NBA reporter / writer for SB Nation. So congratulations to you getting more opportunities.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Definitely. And you can follow Jonathan J. Bates on Twitter. Jonathan J. Bates. I'll put that in the chat room. So Major League Baseball playoffs, man, are heating up. We finally got to the championship series. I know you're excited with the Cubs. But I wanted to talk about this Astros versus Yankees series first. Astros defeat the Yankees 2-1 in game 1. Were both of these teams a surprise to you for how far that they made it? They were for me.
No. Well, yes. The New York Yankees is a surprise for me. I didn't know that they were going to be all the way in the ALCS. I knew they was going to make it to the ALDS to face the Indians, or if the Red Sox would have been in that position. But I didn't know that they was going to advance because of their pitching. Severino, he had a bad job in the wild card game. You have CC Sabathia, who's old. You have Tanaka, who's been inconsistent this season. But they turned it around. They are clutch. Their pitching really helped them out. Because Aaron Judge haven't been doing a great job in the postseason, but their pitching lifted them up. Gary Sanchez, Stalin Castro has been doing a nice job in the postseason, but I didn't know that the Yankees would be all the way in the ALCS. Now, the Houston Astros, yes, everybody been saying it this whole year. It was going to be the Houston Astros and the Cleveland Indians in the ALCS, but the Yankees pulled up upset. But I can definitely believe it with the Astros.
Yeah, I knew the Astros were good, but honestly, I didn't know they were that good to make it this far. But I think a huge part of it is adding Verlander, Dallas Keuchel, who's just a flat-out beast as a pitcher. He put in 7 innings last night, 10 strikeouts. So they have a huge chance. Also, the Hurricane. I think the Hurricane makes a difference. It's something weird just in the atmosphere where things start to go in your favor when you have a tragedy in your city. So you look at what this series, it's already 1-0 so far. What's your prediction on who you might see winning this? You see it going 7 games? You see a sweep?
No, I don't see a sweep. I see the Yankees winning 1 or 2 games, try to take a game, fight a game 6, but there's no way that the Yankees will take the Houston Astros to game 7, and that's because they use all of their energy against the Cleveland Indians now. I know my answer is going to be different with the Cubs, but the Yankees, they use all their energy. They're not used to the postseason yet. I know they have a great history with it, but their players right now, as of now, is not great. With the postseason, you have Starlin Castro, who never been this far. You have Aaron Judge, who's never even been in the postseason. You have Gary Sanchez. All of their key hitters, Didi Gregorius. All their key hitters really never been in this spot before. And it's the same with the Houston Astros. But the Yankees, they're not really prepared for it. They don't really know how to overcome adversity. They just started doing it this year. And this team reminded me of the 2015 Cubs when they got swept by the New York Mets. So actually, I'm going to change my answer. I do think the Yankees will get swept, but they will come back fighting next year. Mm-hmm. And there's no way that they're going to force this series to Game 7 unless Aaron Judge turns to Superman and unless they can defeat Justin Verlander.
Yeah, it's this series. I think it's not tough to predict who's going to win. It's just tough to predict how far it's going to go because they are young guys with the Yankees, and you got to look at their closer and the struggles that he's had. Can he show up in the playoffs? Can he do it again? I think that's one of the biggest things with him. You've experienced him watching him with the Cubs. There was some nail-biting situations. So can Aroldis Chapman truly be a shutdown closer and close the door on an important game? That's a big question right there.
Yeah, it is a big question because Aroldis Chapman with the Cubs, we've seen him. He was a little up and down with the Cubs last season in the postseason. Sometimes he was a shutdown closer, and sometimes he'll have your heart racing. He'll give you anxiety throughout the games because, yes, Chapman knows how to throw, but he don't know how to pitch, if that makes a little bit of sense. Wade Davis, he doesn't know how to pitch, but Aroldis Chapman knows how to throw the baseball, which is he know how to use his velocity, but he don't know really use his slider, his changeup, and he don't really know how to throw the ball. He just know how to throw it real fast. But with Wade Davis, he know how to pitch the ball, and he can also put it up there to like 97 velocity and stuff like that. But if Chapman is on his A game, and if the Yankees have a lead beyond the 7th inning, then this ball game on Houston fans should be scared because Bentinis and Chapman, they definitely can shut out the game if the Yankees even leading by 1 run beyond the 7th inning. Then the Yankees will take the ball game.
Yeah, I think his biggest thing too is location, being able to locate a spot and put it there. He struggles with that, and this is on the biggest stage. Hopefully, maybe he's learned some things. Hopefully, he has grown. I haven't watched the Yankees that much, but I think there could be a strong possibility. There could be some issues down further in late games. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. That whole series. We got game actually today, so they got back-to-back games. Next one's Monday, yep. So it's going to be fun. On to the series that I know you're excited about. Also, we got a Cubs fan in the chat room, Big L. He's excited about the Cubs, his Cubbies. The Dodgers versus the Cubs. First game tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. This is the Cubs' third straight NLCS, excuse me. I'm amazed by this Cubs team. Being able to get through the Nationals, being able to get through some ups and downs throughout the season, and they're still here. So give me a preview since they haven't started yet. Give me a preview on this, Doug's Dodgers versus Cubs.
This series starting all the way back to last year, and it's turned into a pretty good rivalry in the postseason. Not a regular season rivalry yet, but it is a postseason rivalry. And we've seen that with last year when Adrian Gonzalez was talking about how the Cubs and their hotels, how it was filthy, and how they tried to cheat and such things like that. And actually, the Washington Nationals were just complaining about it, how they was talking about mold and how their pitchers were sick like Steven Strasburg. But that really didn't affect anything because Strasburg came out and threw a shutout game. But Adrian Gonzalez, everybody was complaining. Now, to this series today, as everybody all know, the Cubs beat the Los Angeles Dodgers. Kyle Hendricks destroyed the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw, he couldn't get to the Cubs. The Cubs was hitting Kershaw. Dodgers was up 2-1 in that series. But this is an entirely new Dodgers team. The Dodgers is what the Cubs was doing last year, possibly 5 times better. And they're in that same position where they have to go through pressure to beat the Cubs.
Yeah,
but with this series right here, it's a little bit different for the Cubs because they went all the way to Game 5 with the Washington Nationals. They had to use all of their pitchers in a closeout game, most of them. And their pitchers right now, Jose Quintana, he's not have a full 5-day rest. None of their pitchers have a full 5-day rest. None of their hitters really have a rest. The Cubs, when they flew out to Los Angeles Dodgers, they landed in Mexico actually early last night, and they just came to Los Angeles this morning because somebody was sick on the plane. So the Cubs, they're not fully energetic. They're not fully healthy right now. Not as an injury, but I'm talking about as in stamina, such things like that. And it's not the same for the Los Angeles Dodgers either. Corey Seager is out. We don't know how long, but he's not on a roster because of the ankle situation, or he's tired, something like that. He's not tired, but it's something with an injury. But I feel like it's all about the hitters. Both of these teams have great starting pitching. The Cubs starting pitching pitched like a 1-point-something ERA, and their bullpen is just horrible. The Cubs bullpen is horrible, and if the Cubs losing beyond the 6th inning, then we have to give it up to the Dodgers. And if it's a bullpen game, then I'm going to have to give the advantage to the Los Angeles Dodgers. But all the Cubs have to do is just keep the Dodgers on their heels, keep them guessing. They really don't have Corey Seager, Adrian Gonzalez, but they still have a deep lineup with Bellinger. They still have Yasiel Puig, and they still have Taylor, who's hitting line drive balls out the park. But it's going to be a great series.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see what Kershaw is going to do. We've seen this year after year after year. He's got Yu Darvish on the staff now. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? It's very interesting to see how this is all going to work out. I think the Cubs just have that mojo. They have it right now. When you have that excitement, when you have tasted the championship before, to me, those type of teams are more likely to repeat. And I'm going for the Cubs. I do think the Dodgers can definitely prove something if they are able to somehow get past the Cubs and make it to the World Series. That would prove a lot, I think, to LA, to the owners for having to spend so much money. They've spent so much. So I'm pretty excited about this series. Both of these, of course, my Rangers aren't in it, but I have to say this is a good consolation to have these 4 teams in it and to be able to see those 2 teams play. One thing I wanted to touch on, Bryce Harper has had an opportunity to hit a game-tying home run, to get on base, to do something, and he struck out at the end of that game. Do you think Bryce Harper is clutch, or is he just a regular season type star?
Oh no, he's definitely clutch. He's clutch, and Cubs fans can tell you this right now that Bryce Harper is clutch. Game 2, Cubs could have been up 2-0. Carl Edwards Jr. in the game. I believe the Cubs was up 2 runs in the 8th or 7th inning. And Bryce Harper, it was a 3-1 pitch count, and he blasted a home run. He put the Nationals back on top, tied the game. Ryan Zimmerman, 3-run home run. Then the series just started to dial in after that. Bryce Harper is a clutch hitter, definitely with that. The Cubs had problems with him all series long. I believe he batted somewhat of a high average this series. But Bryce Harper, he's no scrub. He had a hit in, I believe, at least every game except for game 1. And he's just real good. Now, you got to think about this. Bryce Harper, he just came back from an injury. He didn't have those at bats like he usually supposed to do. And Cal Schwarber, he's really the only player in the MLB who I can see come back from the postseason, being injured, not a lot of at bats, and come back and do something historical. Now, Bryce Harper, he's a little bit different. He's a real hitter. He has to take his time. He needs hit at bats to be able to be successful. But he had a couple of good games with the Cubs. I say game 1, game 2, and the last game. So he just didn't show up when they won 5-0. He didn't show up when they lost 2-1, and that's somewhat of a problem. But Bryce Harper is clutch, and I hope he be on the Cubs team in the future because